Hi, I'm Josh with ASG Automotive, and today we're going to go through our inspection process. So we'll start with our under hood inspection. We'll simply check the oil level to start off, just to verify it's at our full mark. We'll also check our coolant reservoir, make sure it has some in there just below the max line, so that's okay. We'll check our power steering fluid. You're checking for discoloration and then obviously the proper level. The next thing we do is check our brake fluid here, make sure it's not discolored or black. We'll check our air filters. Now this vehicle has an aftermarket reusable style air filter, so we actually wouldn't recommend this. We actually do a cleaning process for these. So it actually doesn't look that dirty. So we'll go ahead and slip that back in there until it's next service time. And another thing I'm going to look at is the belt train to make sure it's not cracked or broken or the ribs are starting to split or anything, and it looks okay too. Alright, so now we're going to do our battery test. So you just simply go through the procedures here. It is in the vehicle, it's a top post, and it's a lead acid battery, not a glass mat. So we'll put in our CCA reading here, which is 550, and now I can print this off if it tests bad so the customer can see it, and it actually is. So we're going to hit back and it's going to print off our test slip here. And then another thing I noticed before I even hooked up this tester is that we've got some significant corrosion on the positive terminal here. So not only would we recommend a battery, we'd recommend a terminal cleaning service. So the next part of our vehicle inspection is to get the vehicle in the air so we can feel the suspension for any type of play. And I'll basically just give it a rock up and down, a rock back and forth. Now that's the steering wheel moving. I just check for play in the tie rods. The next thing we'll do is we'll check our tire tread depth with our tread depth gauge. This one's reading 4/32. You can see on there. So we would actually recommend a tire at this time. So we'd go around and get the rest of them. The other thing I'm going to do is check our pad life here. Looks like we're at about 5 millimeters on this, so we'd probably monitor this and check him again when he comes in for his next oil service. Okay, so now that we've got the vehicle all the way in the air, we're going to look for any kind of fluid leaks, rusty exhaust fasteners, anything that shouldn't be there, or like your shocks leaking or a broken spring, anything like that. So we'll just take a quick peek under here and make sure we don't have any leakage coming from our differential. Our springs look okay. These shocks are original equipment, and it appears this one's leaking up at the top a little bit. I don't know if you can see in there or not. All right, we're going to continue our underneath part of the inspection by moving up along the vehicle. We will always look at the drive shaft. Now we do have some rusty exhaust hangers here, so we would note that on our inspection. We've definitely got some rusty fasteners here, so if we had to do any kind of real service to this vehicle where we'd have to drop the exhaust, this is going to be an issue, so we would know that we would have to replace bolts or a flange or even the entire exhaust system if it's bad enough. So we'll look up here at our drive shaft U-joints. And this happens to be an all-wheel drive vehicle, so there's a drive shaft going to the front too. So I'll check for play there. I don't see any fluid leaks until we have a little bit of leakage coming out of the rack boot here, and that's going to be a rack seal. So we would recommend that to our customer. Our front struts look okay. We don't have any leakage. And as we felt for play earlier, I'm going to check the sway bar end links and make sure they don't clunk around. And then I don't see any oil leaks coming from the engine, so I think I've got about all my information I need to fill out my inspection form for this vehicle.